Good morning, welcome to this morning's morning flow. I hope you're all doing well. As always with these classes, if anything hurts, if there's any pain anywhere, please back off, take it easy. I can't see you, so I can't completely control what's going on, so listen to your body. These classes are donation based, so if you are able to and would like to, there is a PayPal link on the side of the screen. Otherwise, let's get started. So we're going to start in a seated position. You can either come to kneeling, maybe grabbing a block if you have one, or a cushion if you have one. If you don't like kneeling, go for a cross-legged position. Again, if you want to sit on your block or cushion to make it a little bit more comfortable, go ahead. But you want to find somewhere that your lower body feels nice and relaxed, so that you can sort of forget about it and start to bring your awareness to the upper half of your body. Rest your hands lightly on your knees, thighs, in your lap, wherever they comfortably reach. And just close down the eyes here. If that doesn't feel good today, just take a soft gaze down towards the floor. I'm just going to take a few moments in stillness here, and let's take a couple of big sighs. So take a big breath in through the nose. Open the mouth and just let it go. Do that again. Big breath in. If you need to do that again, go ahead. And throughout the class, if at any point you want to, please do. Otherwise, we're closing the mouth and starting to breathe in and out through the nose. Just starting to introduce a gentle Ujjayi breath here. And it might be the first time this morning that you've thought about your breath. Through the night, we often breathe mostly into our chest and lose that connection with our diaphragm. So really starting to introduce that full body breath, expansion through the chest, the stomach, the rib cage. Notice how deep you can breathe. Just taking a moment to set an intention for your practice ahead, maybe an intention for your day ahead. Gently open up the eyes if they were still closed. I'm going to take a little neck stretch from here. So let your right ear fall towards your right shoulder. Try and keep the rest of the body completely still. So it's just the head tilting to one side. From here, you're going to reach your left fingertips down towards the floor next to you. So they're just lightly touching the floor next to you. And you're going to reach your right arm up and place it over your left ear. So it's gently guiding that neck a little bit further into this stretch. If that's too much, feel free to keep the right hand on the floor or in your lap. If you want to intensify this stretch, just lift the left fingertips off the floor and flex them up towards the ceiling. Notice what's happened to your breath here. And if you found a spot that feels really good, you can stay exactly where you are. But if you want to sort of experiment with this one, you can slightly tilt the chin down. It's a really small movement we're looking for, or tilt the chin up. And depending on where you hold tension in your body will determine which parts or which area you feel this, and what tilting, what positioning of the head is going to find the best stretch for you. Especially if you just got up this morning, depending on how you've been sleeping, you might feel quite tight in the neck. And then from here, place your left fingertips back on the floor, release your right hand, and then use your right fingertips to just lightly guide your head back up. So we're using minimal effort here. Let's do that on the other side. So left ear comes towards left shoulder. Right fingertips are on the floor next to your right hip. And then reach that left hand over onto your right ear. Again, don't feel you have to add this left hand in. If you've already got a lot going on, by all means, just leave the left hand on the floor. Maybe you keep the right hand where it is, or you flex the right fingertips up. Again, choose if you want to stay in stillness here. If you've got a really good stretch going on, just stay exactly where you are. Otherwise, you might want to take a really slow, really small tilt with the chin down. That might work a little bit better, or it might work a little bit better tilting the chin up. So you take a moment to just start listening to what your body's trying to tell you. Let's place those right fingertips back down. Release that left hand and then use the left fingers to just guide the head all the way back up. Nice. Let the head hang heavy this time, so chin coming towards the chest. Just starting to feel the back of the neck, the top of the spine a little bit here. And then slowly coming all the way back up to seated. If the eyes are still closed throughout that, you can open them back up. We're going to interlace our fingers and reach them forwards. So as you reach your fingers forwards, maybe you get a slight rounding through the shoulders. Maybe you tuck your chin towards your chest once more to deepen the sensation. On your next inhale, slowly start to lift the arms all the way up. As you do this, start to open through the chest. Try not to dump any weight in the lower back. So keep a gentle tuck of the tailbone and try and make this more about the upper spine, the shoulders. Maybe you bring your gaze up, but maybe that's too much for the neck this morning. You choose. And we'll release, let go of the hands. We're going to make our way onto all fours now, so removing anything that you might have been sitting on, a block, a cushion, and coming into a tabletop position. So hands are below the shoulders, knees are hip width apart. We're going to take a couple of rounds of quite slow cat and cow. So as you inhale, dropping the stomach, lift the tailbone, lift the chest, lift the gaze. As you exhale, tuck the tailbone around the spine, bring the chin towards the chest. Inhale, arching, lift the tailbone, lift the gaze. We're moving nice and slowly, just noticing how your spine, your shoulders are feeling this morning. As you exhale, tuck the tailbone around the spine, bring the chin towards the chest. Take a few more rounds like this, the speed of your own breath. And nice and slowly completing the movement that you are on. And we're going to just work into the wrists a little bit from here. So spread the fingers nice and wide on the mat. I'm going to just start taking some big circles over the wrists. Make sure you're pressing down with each of the fingertips, including the thumb here. Often the thumb can get a little bit ignored. Just noticing the range of motion in the wrists. If you haven't done so already, changing directions, just allowing this movement to be quite free to maybe get into your shoulders, your hips a little bit too. And then bring yourself to stillness. Walk your fingertips back towards your knees. Now for some of you, this is going to be quite intense straight away. So maybe you just stay in stillness here. Work on pressing the hands down. If you want a little bit more, just start rocking gently backwards and forwards. Try not to let the heel of the hand, the heel of the wrist lift up as you do this. So don't worry if it's quite a small movement. Just starting to warm up the forearms, the wrists. Not only do we use these quite a lot in our yoga practice, but also in our day-to-day life, texting, typing on a keyboard. Let's take one more movement like this. And then release the hands. We're going to take a little toe stand, so toe pose. We're going to tuck our toes under, sit back onto our heels. Now, if you're feeling it in the wrist, you might want to just shake the hands out, rotate the wrists a couple of times. If your little toes don't like getting involved here, you might want to use your hands to just guide them under. If you hate toe pose, if you've never done it before, by all means, you keep leaning forwards. Don't go into it too much. It's first thing in the morning, the feet might be quite tight. You might want to put a cushion underneath your seat or underneath your knees. Options here to just have your hands on your thighs, close the eyes and breathe. If you want to keep it a little bit more active, you're going to interlace your fingers at your sacrum and also open through the chest. Think how we did with our hands overhead here. We're not arching the back and sticking the bum out. We're keeping the tailbone tucked and making it more about the shoulders and the chest opening. Know that you can take a break at any point. We're just going to be here for about 30 more seconds. Especially if you're finding this super intense, really, really focusing on breathing in and out through the nose. So as we hold these poses for a little bit longer, we get into our connective fascia tissue. And that fascia tissue, especially on the soles of the feet, can really build up. We don't often stretch this area of our body. So know that what you're doing here is rehydrating that tissue, releasing any tension, any build up. Last few breaths. We're going to let go of the hands, but don't let them ping apart. Just gently release. Come back onto your hands and knees. Tuck your toes and give the tops of the feet a little drum roll on the floor. Maybe rotate the ankles a couple of times. Spread the toes nice and wide. And from here, we're going to walk our hands forwards into a puppy dog pose. So keeping your hips on top of your knees, just walk your hands forwards, and we're trying to get our forehead down towards the floor. For some of you, your forehead will reach the floor easily, in which case, come onto your chin. So you choose either forehead or chin, but really think about reaching your chest, the center of your chest down towards the floor. Notice where you're feeling this is probably in between the shoulder blades or anywhere around the shoulders, and think about sending your breath to that area of your body. Nice and slowly walk your hands back. You're back in your tabletop. Take an inhale through the nose. And as you exhale, let's take downward facing dog. So this might be, I'm sure it's your first down dog of the day, but it might be your first down dog of the week. So take any movement that you might need here. Check in with the hands and the feet. Spread the fingers nice and wide. Spread the toes nice and wide. And don't worry about the heels pressing into the mat, but have the intention of reaching the heels down. As you do this, think about tilting the tailbone up. Especially if you feel a little bit tighter in the mornings, maybe take a bend in the knees. You can have a generous bend in the knees here. Hands are pressing down and forwards. You're really thinking about lengthening through the spine. Lift right up onto your tippy toes and take tiny footsteps all the way to behind your wrists. You can bend your knees as much as you need to. Let's take a ragdoll at the top of the mat. Opposite hand comes to opposite elbow. Let your head just hang heavy. It might feel nicer to take a little bounce or a little sway side to side. Let all the muscles in the face relax. Release your hands. Keep the knees nice and soft as you slowly, slowly, slowly roll all the way up to standing. Have your head as the last thing to lift. Reach your arms up overhead, full body stretch. Exhale, we fold forwards. Inhale, flat back, halfway lift, hands to shins, crown of the head, chest reaches forwards. Fold. On an inhale, rise all the way up to standing, reach up too. Exhale, fold. And again, find that flat back, halfway lift. Exhale as you step it back into your high plank position. Just pausing in your high plank for a moment. Think about your engagement here. So squeeze the muscles in the legs towards the bones. As you do this, you'll notice your whole body feels a little bit lighter. Pull your tummy button in and up towards the spine. And then you're pressing down so much with the hands that the space in between the shoulder blades reaches up. Drop your knees, untuck your toes. Slowly come all the way down onto your mat. Inhale, take a baby cobra. Just use your back muscles here. So you're lifting your chest up, squeeze shoulder blades together, and draw your elbows back and towards each other. Come back through your knees. Downward facing dog. Full breath in through the nose. And as you exhale, open the mouth and just sigh it out. Another full breath in. And this time as you exhale, walk your feet to your hands. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, rise to reach up. Exhale, bow forwards. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, step it back, high plank. We're going to do that same thing. Drop the knees, untuck the toes. Keep the elbows close to the body as you lower all the way down. Open your chest, cobra. Come back through your knees, downward facing dog. Bring your big toes together to touch and lift your right leg up. Keep the hips square to the floor for a moment and think about reaching your right heel backwards. Then bend your right knee and open the hips. Coming into a side body stretch, you might get it along the front of that right thigh. And then straighten that leg back out behind you. Bring your knee to your nose, round the upper back. Kick back. Bring your knee to your nose, and this time step that right foot all the way in between your hands. Drop your back knee in a low lunge. Lift up onto your fingertips, really reach the chest forwards. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, lift up, step that back foot to the top of your mat. You're in a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, we fold forwards. Inhale, rise up, reach tall. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step it back, high plank. Stay with this modified chaturanga. Drop your knees, untuck your toes, come all the way down with control. Open the chest for a baby cobra. Downward facing dog. Big toes to touch. Let's do that on the left side. Lift your left leg. Before we open the hips, keep the hips square, but reach that left heel up and backwards. And then bend your left knee, open up the hips. Think about reaching your left knee as high as it can go. Straighten your knee back out behind you. Bring your knee to your nose, really round the upper back. Pull that knee in towards you. Kick it back. Bring your knee to your nose as gently as you can. Step that foot in between the hands. Drop the back knee. We're back in that low lunge. Lift up onto your fingertips. Really think about reaching the chest forwards. Full breath in. As you exhale, lift up those back toes. Step forward. You're in a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, rise up. Exhale to fold forwards. Halfway lift on the inhale. This time, step it back. Options to continue with the modified chaturanga. Drop your knees, come all the way down. Or if you're ready, bend the elbows halfway. Inhale, it's cobra or up dog. Open the chest. Exhale, downward facing dog. Feet to touch, right leg lifts. Bend the right knee, open through the hips. Straighten that leg back out behind you, and then bring your knee to your nose. Kick it back. Bring your knee to your nose once more. This time, step that foot in between the hands. Drop the back knee. You're in your low lunge. Coming up onto the fingertips, reach your chest forwards. Tuck the back toes under. This time, we're going to rise all the way up into our crescent lunge. Hands come together at heart center. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, we twist towards our right, hooking our left elbow over our right thigh. Press the palms into each other here. Nice and slowly come back to center, crescent lunge. Full breath in. Exhale, step it back, high to low plank. You can drop your knees if you prefer. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Big toes touching, lift your left leg up. Bend your left knee, open the hips. Straighten that leg back out behind you, bring your knee to your nose. Kick it back. Again, bring your knee to your nose and as gently, as lightly as you can, step that foot in between the hands, drop the back knee. Low lunge, lift onto your fingertips, reach the chest forwards. Tuck the back toes, lift up, crescent lunge. Use your core to help you feel nice and stable here. Hands come together. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, we twist towards our left this time. Think about pressing the palms into each other so much that your thumb comes in line with the center of your chest. Lift the back heel a little bit higher. Nice and slowly come back to center, crescent lunge. Full breath in. Exhale through your vinyasa, your variation high to low plank. Up dog or it's a cobra. Downward facing dog. Take any movement here in your down dog to just fit back into the practice. Notice how this down dog feels compared to the one we started class with. From here, nice and slowly roll yourself forward, so almost ripple your body forwards to a high plank. Keep your core engaged. Options here to drop your knees or keep them lifted. We're going to shift our elbows over our shoulders, over our wrists. Bend your elbows, low plank. Press the earth away, high plank. Downward facing dog. Let's do that again. So ripple your body forwards to a high plank. Shift your shoulders over your wrists. Take a low plank. Push the earth away, high plank. Downward facing dog. Once more, rolling forwards, high plank. This time we're going to lower down towards the mat. You can drop your knees or you can keep them lifted. But we're going to lower down for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come all the way down onto your mat. One cheek is on the floor. Arms come alongside your body. Just take a moment here to settle back in. If your breath is speeding up, see what you can do to slow it back down. Taking it nice and easy this morning. Have your palms so they're facing the floor. Turn so your forehead is on the mat. So forehead down, big toes touching. Press the pelvis into the mat. So a gentle tuck of the tailbone. And then we lift up into a locust pose. So lifting as much of your body up off the mat as you can here. Think about how long you can stretch your body. And see if you can lift a little bit higher. As you inhale, maybe you feel the stomach start to expand and you raise up a little bit higher. One more big breath in. And as you exhale, release, let go. Bring the opposite cheek to the mat and gently sway the hips from side to side. This time we're going to interlace our fingers at our sacrum, big toes touching forehead down. Again, press the pelvis into the mat, lift up. Notice with this arm variation, if you feel like you can open your chest a little bit more, make sure you're breathing. Check in with your face, try not to hold on to any tension here. So relax the jaw, the forehead. Breathe a little bit more deeply. Last few moments, can you lift a little bit higher? And we release, let it go. Again, sway the hips from side to side. Let it all go. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders so the fingertips are just a little bit lower than your shoulders. Big toes touching. We're going to lift up into an up dog. So press the hands down. Let the body slide forwards. Knees are lifted off the mat. Shoulders are relaxed. Roll over the toes, downward facing dog. Step your right foot forwards, warrior one. So we're dropping the back heel this time. Rise up nice and tall. Torso is facing forwards, fingertips reach up tall. Interlace the fingers at the sacrum. Inhale, we open. Exhale, humble warrior. So forehead, crown of the head comes down towards the floor on the inside of that right foot. Even though we're really reaching our weight forwards here, try and press down with that back foot too. Make sure you're breathing with the intention that the crown of the head might touch the floor one day. That might feel like a million miles away today, but don't worry about it too much. On your next inhale, nice and slowly lift all the way back up. Warrior one, fingertips too. Exhale, warrior two, open out. Check in with the front knee, make sure it's bending towards the baby toe. Toes are pointing forwards. Straighten your front leg. We're going to reach forwards and down into our triangle pose. Options to place a block underneath that bottom hand, especially if you're a little bit tighter in the hamstrings, it might give you more access. If this front leg is feeling super tight, keep a little bend in that front knee. Totally up to you. Left fingertips are reaching up, and imagine someone's pulling out of those left fingers. So you're light in the upper body. On an inhale, we rise up to standing. Turn your front foot to face the left side of your mat. So you're facing one side of the mat. We're going to slightly pinch and toe the toes. So slight turn in of the toes. Hands come to your hips. Inhale to open through the chest. Exhale, think about hinging at the waist as we fold all the way down. Release your hands either to the floor if they reach, maybe to your big toes or your shins if that works better. Again, feel free to keep a little bend in the knees, especially if this one's feeling quite tight. Some of you might even get the crown of your head on the floor here. From here, we're going to take a halfway lift. So find a flat back. You might want to bring your fingertips onto the floor. If they don't reach, don't worry. If the floor feels too far away, you can have the hands dangling, but think about reaching the chest forwards. We're going to place the left hand exactly where you can see it. If you can't reach the floor, grab your block or a book or something so that your hand is placed flat on something beneath you. Once your left hand is flat on the floor, right where your gaze is, so almost making a triangle with your feet and that hand, we're going to reach the right hand up towards the ceiling, taking a twist. Keep breathing. Gaze can either be down towards the floor, it can be at sort of eye level, or it can be all the way up towards your right fingertips. One more full breath in. And as you exhale, nice and slowly melting all the way down into that forward fold once more. Check in with your feet. You want to be pressing down with the outer edges of both feet. Let's go on the other side. Inhale, roll your spine up, halfway lift, find a flat back. This time, right hand comes to the floor directly underneath your gaze. If you need a block to lift yourself up, go ahead. Maybe you don't, maybe you're flat on the floor. And then we're going to open up that left hand, reach the left arm up towards the ceiling. As much as you can here, keep the hips level. Again, choose what you want to do with your gaze. Few more deep breaths here. And then we slowly come all the way back down, removing the block if you were using it. This time, inhale halfway in. Exhale here. And on your next inhale, with a straight spine, lifting all the way up to standing. Nice work. Turn that right foot to face the top of the mat. Step the back foot in. Inhale, we reach up. Exhale, folding forwards. Inhale, halfway in. Exhale, step it back, high to low plank. Always the option to drop the knees or skip a vinyasa if you don't feel like doing it. Meeting in a downward facing dog when you are ready. Step your left foot forwards, warrior one. Drop the back heel, we rise up nice and tall. Settle your feet down and think about pressing the feet down and away from each other so your foundations are really strong here. Interlace your fingers at your sacrum, open the chest. Humble warrior, come down and forwards. Keep reaching your hands towards your head, towards the top of your mat to really get a shoulder stretch here. Think about that baby toe edge of the back foot. And as you press it down, maybe gaze towards that right foot and see the inner arch lift. Nice and slowly lifting all the way back up to your warrior one, release the hands. Open out into your warrior two. Straighten your front leg, reach forwards, tilt down into your triangle. Know that you can always grab a block underneath that left hand. It might help you find a bit more opening through the chest. Think about tucking the tailbone here, so squeezing the glutes as much as you can. Gaze can be wherever is comfortable for your neck. Keep breathing. Again, thinking about the feet and that sensation of pressing them down and away from each other without actually moving them. On an inhale, nice and slowly rising all the way back up, turning the feet to face the right side of your mat. I'm going to turn around so you can see me better. Again, toes are slightly pigeon toes, so slightly turned in. Interlace the fingers behind you. Inhale, we open. Exhale, folding forward. So we've done this movement in a few different variations today. Really think about reaching your fists forwards towards your head, towards the floor in front of your head. Again, feel free to bend the knees if you want to, but really rooting down with the outer edges of both feet. Breathe. Nice and gently release the hands, so don't let them ping apart. With a straight spine on an inhale, rise all the way up to standing. Great work. Turn your front foot to face the front, step the back foot in. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, folding forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, take a vinyasa or skip it out if you don't feel like going for it. Inhale, it's up dog or cobra if you're staying with me. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's set up for half pigeon on the right. So we're going to step our right foot towards our left wrist. Right knee towards right wrist. You're going to drop that back leg down. If you know where you're going, just go for it. If your right hip is miles away from the floor, you might want to put a block or a cushion underneath it. Staying either up on your hands, on your forearms, or all the way down on your forehead. If you have any knee issues or knee pain here, come onto your back and take a thread the needle by placing your right ankle over your left thigh and just pulling that left knee in towards you. So if you have knee issues, avoiding your half pigeon unless it works for you. So if you ever have pain, in fact actually in any pose, if you ever have pain in your knees, try and back off. We don't want to go anywhere that causes pain. I'm going to hold this one for a little bit longer than some of our other poses. And check that the tension that you feel in your right hip, your right glute, doesn't creep anywhere else in the body. So keep the hands relaxed, the forehead relaxed, the jaw relaxed. And then check in what's happening with your breath here. Can you come back to that same steady, full body breath that we started the class with? If you are folding forwards, nice and slowly lift yourself all the way back up. Tuck your back toes under and lift up into a three-legged down dog. You might want to shake that right leg out a little bit, especially if that felt quite intense. It might feel a bit tingly. And then when you're ready, there's absolutely no rush. We're going to step the left foot towards the right wrist, left knee towards left wrist. Setting up for your half pigeon on the left. Again, if this left hip is really high up off the floor, you might want to just put a block or a cushion underneath it. And try not to be sort of leaning off to one side. So you want to have your hips as level as possible here. Choose if you want to stay upright. Maybe you come onto your forearms or all the way down onto your forehead. And now our target area to stretch is our left glute, our left hip. But it's all right if you feel it in other places too, as long as you don't have any pain, anything sharp going on. And when we do start slowing things down and holding poses for a little bit longer, it can be quite normal for other thoughts to start popping back into your head. Maybe things that you've got going on today, this weekend, things that you maybe didn't do that you were meant to do yesterday. But see if you can just stay with the present moment for a little bit longer. The best way to keep drawing your mind back into the present is by focusing on the simplicity of breathing in and out. If you're folded forwards, lift yourself up, but this time we're going to shift our weight onto our left hip and swing our right leg round. So we end up in a seated position with both legs stretched out in front of us. From here, we're going to take a wide leg stance. So we're going to open up the legs. So it's a little bit similar to our standing, what we were just doing standing in that halfway lift. Our legs are wide, our spine is straight. If you're super tight here, you might want to sit on a block or a cushion just to lift the hips. Relax the shoulders, relax the hands, and just breathe here. Often with these sorts of poses, especially if you hold tension in your hips, you can feel quite immobile, like you can't move very much. If you're feeling those sensations, we're going to take an addition onto this pose, but if you're feeling that stuck feeling, feel free to just keep your hands where they are, close the eyes and just breathe into whatever is going on. Otherwise, reaching towards your left big toe with your left fingertips. If you can't reach your left toe, you could just have your hand on your left shin. And then you're going to reach your right arm up overhead. So if, again, you want to give this a go, but it's too much, think about just start by reaching the right fingertips up and then over if you have the space. So try not to let the chest roll down. We're thinking about reaching the chest, keeping the chest nice and open. Don't let the right hip lift. So that right seat bone might start lifting, you might suddenly be able to go into it more, but keep rooting both seat bones down. Breathe. Getting a lovely side body stretch here. And then nice and slowly come back up to center, pausing here. And let's do that on the other side. So right hand either comes to right shin, or maybe loop your peace fingers around your right toe. Start by reaching the left fingertips up. Maybe you stay here, that's a great place to be. Maybe you start reaching the left fingertips overhead towards those right toes. Again, aware that you're not leaning forwards, you're opening the chest. Aware that you're not lifting the left hip off the floor. And if you can here, keep the left toes flexed and the right toes flexed. So both toes flex back towards you. And nice and slowly lifting all the way back up. Let's bring our legs together, sit up nice and tall. Again, choose, maybe you just stay upright for this, close the eyes, stay where you are. Otherwise, we're reaching up and folding forwards. Hands come to your knees, your shins, ankles, soles of the feet. Listen to your body and go where it wants to go. Don't try and force anything here. Don't worry if you are far away from your feet, your toes. It doesn't matter what this pose looks like or what any pose looks like. What matters is how it feels in your body. And slowly meeting everyone back in seated. And we're going to make our way onto our backs for an inversion. I'm going to talk you through shoulder stand. If you prefer not to take shoulder stand, you can do whatever you want to do. If you want something more restorative, just bring your feet up against the wall. But it's really great to get your feet up high, especially first thing in the morning. It really energizes your whole day. So if you're staying with me, kick your feet over your head, coming into your plow pose. Bring your hands to your lower back, and then nice and slowly start to lift the feet up towards the ceiling. So you want to have most of your weight here in your upper arm bones, shoulders. You don't want to have any, if any, sensation in your neck. So you might have a gentle sensation just because you are upside down, but the weight is mostly in the arms and the shoulders. And as I said, getting upside down in any way has a really wonderful energizing effect on your body. It's a great way to start the day. Maybe at that sort of mid-afternoon lull is another great time to just, especially while people are working from home, you have the option to just leave your desk or wherever you're working and try and get upside down for a couple of moments, a couple of deep breaths. To leave the pose, slowly start to bend the knees and bring them down towards either your forehead or your ears. Release your hands so they're along your mat if you need them as sort of breaks. And then nice and slowly, with as much control as you can, we're going to roll out of the pose. So no crash landings here. Use your core, use that control, and then come all the way to lying on your back. And we're going to finish up with a spinal twist. So hugging the right knee in towards your chest, give it a nice big squeeze. Let that right knee fall towards the left. Open the right arm out towards the right and gaze towards the right. Really trying to keep both shoulders grounding down here. And don't worry if this right knee is miles away from the floor. You can put a cushion under it, a block underneath it, if that helps you in this pose. We're looking more to focus on the spine rather than anywhere else in the body. And coming back through center. Let's swap sides. You might even shift your hips slightly towards the left before you set up for this one. And then hug your left knee in towards your chest. Let your left knee fall over towards the right. Reach your left arm towards the left and gaze towards the left. Again, you might notice that one side feels completely different to the other, and no, that's completely normal. You might find that your breath is a little bit more restricted here, but do your best to keep your full body breath going just for these final few moments of practice. I'm sure as soon as you get back on with your day ahead, you won't be focusing on your breath, you'll be focusing on other things. So just enjoy, allow this time. Let's come back to center and hug both knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a nice big squeeze here. Should feel really nice on the lower back. Maybe rock a little bit from side to side, giving it a little massage. We've stretched it out quite a lot today. Bring your forehead up towards your knees and make yourself as small as you can possibly be. Take a big breath in through the nose. As you exhale, open the mouth, sigh it out. Release your arms, release your legs. Come to lying flat on your back. Let your feet fall open, palms face the ceiling. And close down your eyes. Just taking a few moments of complete stillness, complete rest in your Shavasana. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Open the mouth and just sigh it out. Let it all go. Let's do another one. Big breath in. Open the mouth and just let it go. Bring some movement to your fingers and your toes. Reach your arms up overhead, take a full body stretch, waking yourself back up for your day ahead. Roll onto your right side into a fetal position, pausing here. And then with little efforts, make your way up to a seated or a kneeling position, hands together at heart center and your eyes closed. Lift your thumb knuckles up to your forehead center. And together we bow forwards and say, Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you very much for joining me this morning. I hope you enjoyed the class. Let me know any questions, any feedback you might have. I'm doing my Sunday morning class via Zoom this week, so if any of you need the link, please give me a shout. Otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful Friday and great weekend. Thank you.